I cannot be the only one that is hyped after watching this episode, getting to see the Survey Corps leaving the walls, going out into Titan territory, and about to start this expedition that has been hyped up for the past 2 episodes. This got me hyped, looking forward to the next couple episodes, and I really can't wait to review those. But how's it going, guys? I'm not reviewing those episodes just yet. We're on episode 16 of Attack on Titan, and this episode we're getting to see the Survey Corps, leaving on their new mission. But the beginning of this episode actually take place right after the events of what happened within the last episode, with that mystery, with those 2 Titans getting slaughtered by this unknown assailant, and right now they're trying to snuff out who this culprit was. So we get to see the military inspecting and looking over everyone's 3D maneuver gear, trying to see when it was last used and to see if anyone's alibi isn't lining up with what they're saying. But within this episode, we basically find out nothing, and we don't really find out who this culprit was. But while they're doing these inspections to all of the cadets, we actually are getting to learn where they're going to decide where they're going to be going within the military, because later on in this episode, we actually have the recruitment ceremony for all of these branches of the military. So Annie is stating that she doesn't even want to fight Titans anymore. She just wants to go out into the military police, out into the inner walls, and just live a comfortable life, which is respectable, but she's got some skills, and it's kind of like upsetting to watch her go that way. But even Armin, he's made up his mind a long time ago with Mikasa and Eren. All 3 of them made the pact that they were going to join the Survey Corps, and he's not going to waver in that, just knowing that Eren is now in there, and we just know that Armin and Mikasa are going to be following suit to wherever Eren goes. But then we also have Connie, who turns out, I was actually surprised that he was actually thinking about joining the Survey Corps, but due to the events of Trost District, all the battles and watching all of his comrades die, he's actually getting to rethink his situation and is actually debating on whether or not the military police would be the better bet. But then we actually get this flashback for Jean, because Connie is looking at Jean and basically asking in his mind, I can't believe he's actually doing it. And what we learn within this flashback, after a couple days after the Trost battle, is that Jean's decision to join the military police has changed, and he's actually going to be joining the Survey Corps, which is actually a complete 180 for his character when you think about it, because he was gung-ho about going into the military police, living a comfortable life within the inner walls, and just living a normal life. But due to the events of Trost District, and I also think Marco's death is a big player in his decision in doing this, but I think he's also coming to the realization that going into the inner walls isn't going to stop the Titans from moving forward and actually, getting closer and closer to the innermost districts. And his best bet is to actually go out on the front lines and try to do something about it, instead of just cowering behind the inner walls and doing nothing. So there's a bunch of factors at play here for, I think, Jean's decision to join the Survey Corps, but I think Marco's is a big factor in doing that. Even within this episode, Jean is saying, this decision is mine and mine alone. It's not being affected by anyone else's decision on me. But I think there are factors contributing to it. But I think it's just nice to see him actually make this 180 and actually being involved in the Survey Corps. And even what he says later on in this episode is making me like his character more and more as the series goes on. So once we get out of that flashback, we get to see more of the Survey Corps, and a lot of them are worried that a lot of the new recruits aren't actually going to be joining up with the Survey Corps. And they end up asking Eren this, as they're talking about, we didn't find the culprit that did this to our Titans, is Eren, is anyone that you know within the cadets, within your ranks, that you grew up with in the military, are any of them thinking about joining up with the Survey Corps? And Eren knows of at least 2 people, Mikasa and Armin, but a lot of the other people that he comes to know and either survived the Trost District battle, he's unsure about whether or not they're actually going to join. But what I like about this scene is actually getting to see Eren involved with the Survey Corps. Sure, he's under the protection and responsibility of Levi, but watching him mingle and interact and actually socialize with all the other members just makes me proud of the fact that he's actually within the Survey Corps, because this has been his dream since episode 1 to join the Survey Corps, and to see him in it just makes me really happy, just to see a character actually moving forward with what he wants to do, and actually it gets him closer and closer to his goal of fighting these Titans. And by the end of this episode, they're actually going outside the walls, so it just makes me happy to see that Eren is involved and actually on friendly terms to a lot of these characters within the Survey Corps. So enlistment night rolls around, and Erwin ends up giving this speech to all of the cadets that are now making the decision of whether they're going to join the garrison, the military police, or the Survey Corps. But this speech that Erwin ends up giving to everyone when he's introducing himself as the Survey Corps, head of the Survey Corps, he ends up revealing a lot of information about what their plans are, and especially with Eren, because this is something you would not be, handing out to everyone that wants to enlist enlist within the Survey Corps. A lot of these you would keep close to your chest, but Erwin's playing a weird game here. And even within the past few episodes, we've kind of been seeing that Erwin is hiding something, or he has something planned. And what he ends up revealing in this episode is that Eren is the key to everyone's survival against these Titans, and that he has this key to a basement within Shiganshia District, and this expedition that we're going to be going on, once we get closer and closer and actually make it to the basement, we're going to find out the secret that could help us in defeating these Titans. And all the cadets are right now amazed, and even Armin is thinking within his head, is like, what is Erwin's play at this? Because this is the type of information that you wouldn't just be handing out to everyone that you know. And even with the revelations that there's a traitor amongst them that actually slaughtered the Titans and is trying to keep the secret of the Titans, from everyone else, you got to start to wonder, it's like, what is Erwin's play at the matter at hand? Like, why is he revealing so much of his hand to just the public and not leaving it close to his chest? And this just leaves a lot of questions up in the air, and you're trying to figure out what is Erwin's plan in the grand scheme of things. So after his motivational speech, a lot of the cadets end up leaving when Erwin says, those of you that stay are going to enlist within the Survey Corps. Anyone that doesn't want to enlist can leave right now and join the other branches as you see fit. So a lot of people end up leaving. And I really, really like this scene, just the way it's animated and the music, and getting to see the inner monologues of all of our characters that end up staying. This is just a very powerful scene, and I really, really like it. And we actually get revealed who ends up staying, and it's actually a lot of the main characters that we've been following along since the beginning of Attack on Titan. And I have the names written down just that way I don't miss anyone. So I'm just going to read off the names, because we have Armin and Mikasa, which was a given. Jean made the decision late within this episode to basically join the Survey Corps. But then we also have Connie and Sasha, who I actually thought they weren't going to join, as this episode was kind of leading me on to, but they ended up staying and joining the Survey Corps anyway. But then we also have Krista and Ymir. We haven't seen a lot of these two characters within the series, but they have popped up here and there, but it's nice to see them that they're actually joining as well. But then we also have Reiner and Patolt, and these guys are just badass. I love their designs, and it's nice to see that we got some tough guys, heading into the Survey Corps, because these guys are just cool characters. Unfortunately, Annie did leave, which we already knew from the beginning of this episode, but this is the group of people that we have staying, and I'm really glad that these are the characters that we're going to be following with Eren, in the Survey Corps when they go out on their expedition, and I'm really looking forward to see what these characters can bring to the table to the Survey Corps. So all of the new recruits start getting introduced into the Survey Corps. They get their introductions, they start learning the formation that Erwin has been planning, for their expedition outside the walls. But what's interesting about this situation is that all of the new recruits that are learning this formation, they're actually leaving Eren's location in this formation a mystery. No one knows where he is except Eren's group themselves, and Armin is actually wondering why this is, and it's actually just interesting to note, and I think we gotta look to see why Erwin is actually planning this out so specifically, and we're going to probably see this unfold within the future episodes to come. But after learning this whole new formation with the new recruits, Eren actually gets to meet up with his friends, which has actually not happened in a few episodes, and it actually made me realize, it's like, wow, Eren actually hasn't been around his friends in a few episodes just because he's been so involved in the Survey Corps. And eventually he gets to see who it was that joined the Survey Corps. He learns that Jean actually did not go to the military police. He actually joined the Survey Corps, but then he also gets the reveal and the shocking revelation that Marco ended up dying. And even within this episode, I'm like, wow, yeah, Eren has just been locked in a basement through court and then just rushed off to the Survey Corps. He had no idea who even survived the battle. Like, he was just so in the dark with a lot of the information that happened after he actually sealed up the wall with that giant boulder. And I actually feel bad for Eren, because there's this whole scene where everyone's getting their uniforms, and while everyone's standing there, Eren sees Marco in the same uniforms, and it's just like a really, really sad moment, and it just leaves us with not knowing what the hell happened to Marco. But this is the part where I actually started to like Jean's character more and more, because once everyone is reacquainted, Jean ends up bringing the fact that Eren now, he can turn into a Titan, but he wasn't able to control it, and he actually ends up attacking Mikasa. But what he wants to do with this, he wants to get everything out in the open, but he wants to be able to trust Eren with his life, because with this power, he's the only hope humanity has right now. So when they're out on the battlefield, they have to be able to trust Eren that he can actually remain under control and actually still be on their side when he transforms. Because if Eren trusts all of his comrades, that trust has to go all the way back for them to trust Eren for when he's going into this form. And I really like that scene with Jean, because it just made me like his character, just knowing that, sure, these two bickered back and forth throughout earlier parts of the episode, but right now they're on the same team, and they want to be able to trust each other when they're out there on the front lines fighting these Titans, and I really, really like this part. But then just the final part of just the month has passed. Everyone is now at the district where they're going to be going outside the walls. Everyone is on horseback, and we're just watching them as the gates open, and they're just like stampeding out of the walls into the unknown right now, into Titan territory, and we're just left on this cliffhanger, I guess you could say, of them leaving the safety of the walls and going out into this Titan territory. And I'm really, really looking forward to the next episodes to come, because now we're actually getting some action. It has been a little bit since we actually had our characters fight some Titans, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them slicing and dicing all of these new Titans that they're going to be, battling out there, and anything that happens within these next couple episodes. Overall, though, this episode I think was very good for the break in between the two major arcs that this season has, and I'm just really looking forward to what is to come. So I want to hear from you guys. Leave your thoughts down below of what you thought about this episode. Sure, it was a more slice of life, getting to see everyone join within the military, but what were your thoughts about who joined the Survey Corps? Were you surprised by anyone in their decision, what they ended up doing last minute? I think the most shocking for me were Sasha and Connie, just knowing that they were so against the Survey Corps, but in the last moments they actually ended up siding with the Survey Corps. So just leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel if you guys are catching me for the first time, because I'm almost done reviewing Attack on Titan Season 1, and once I'm done with that, Season 2 is actually going to start up as soon as my last review of this season goes up, which I'm really looking forward to. So if you guys want to catch all Attack on Titan reviews or reactions that I'll be doing, and you just want to get a conversation started on Attack on Titan stuff, just subscribe to my channel and leave comments down below so we can talk about what is to come, all the hype moments. I really, really can't wait for it. It's just going to be so exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that, guys. That's the end of this review. And until my next review on episode 17, when we get into the new arc of the series, I'll talk with you guys then. All right, guys. See you later.